Hello, I'm Felicia Vereen, always known as Fee.
Hey Fee, and I'm your girl Sharita 3, better known as Fred.
And we are Inspire Her, the Total Woman podcast, all about uplifting you.
Yes.
Because friends, face it, you are awesome.
We'll be chatting up about topics we love to talk about. All the things we as women must juggle every day and the ish we complain about.
But who's listening?
Girl,
we'll chat about the struggle, the job, and about him. You know who we talking about.
Girl.
That boo, husband, boyfriend, ex, whatever you calling them today. Our lovely hellions, kids.
Our angels. But seriously, friends, life happens, and we don't always get a chance to talk about it. We take it on the chin and we keep it moving.
Because that's what we were told to do.
Yep.
But here on Inspire Her, the Total Woman podcast with Red and Fee, we are the friends you love to hang out with. We are here to inspire her, the Total Woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey.
How's everybody doing today? Listen, I'm trying to do 50 million things at one time. How are you, Sharia?
I'm all right. How are you doing? Just been a long, busy week.
I'm all right. I'm trying to figure out some things right now, but I'm all right. How are you, Raven?
I'm doing okay. Got a little sniffle over here, but otherwise I'm doing okay.
That's good. Listen, guys, we are starting a series about love. Like, have y'all been hearing all this mess going on with P. Diddy and everything that's going on in the world today? Like, people don't love each other no more. Have y'all been experiencing that?
I think people's definition of love is just how they define love is relative, I guess. So
I asked the person that shall remain anonymous. They've been married for years. And I said, "Are you in love with your wife?" And the first thing they said was, "Hell no." I'm like, you've been married for
Raven on here.
And who is this TD? What we doing? I know TD Jakes is coming on here tonight.
Not TD Jakes, but they've been married for over 10 years and maybe 15.
Mute your phone.
You're not in love with your wife.
So he didn't even just say no. He said hell no.
He said hell no. So we're starting this series, and today we wanted to get the male and the female opinion, because a lot of times we just get the female opinion, but we wanted the male and the female opinion of why are we failing at love? Like, why are we failing? Like the P. Diddy thing, he got women just to show that he got women, and then you got other people that's just getting married just to get married, say they got somebody. And what happened to love? Hello, Weldon. How are you?
I'm doing well. So
you popped right on in here in a good time. We talking about love. So we want the male opinion, and the female opinion, but we want to know, why are we failing? You see the title. Why are we failing? Why are we failing at love? Maybe we can help some of these other young people out here who are
they need help.
Is it just young people though?
No, it's everybody. But
these people I was talking about are in their 50s and 60s.
Yeah, it's not just young people, but if we want our future or what's coming behind us to be better, we got to help them get there, and that's a fact.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Not to say that the young people ain't doing it right, because some of them got more sense than us, but just to help them understand, look, what you thinking is love may not be, and I don't know.
I think we gotta love ourselves. A lot of times we don't love ourselves the way that we should, and we accept love like it
what does that mean? Loving ourselves, because sometimes we love ourselves and talk ourselves out of what's actually best for us.
Well, that's part of loving yourself, to know what's best for you. You know, I think loving yourself is what you're gonna accept, how people treat you. It's not just about the physical and looking good. It's about how you allow people to treat you, who you allow in your space, who you allow to occupy your mind and your time.
I agree with that.
I agree with that to some extent, but
Raven was getting ready to say something. She looked like she was about to say something.
I want to say I think sometimes too part of self-love is self-awareness, and kind of like knowing, you know, I feel like there's a balance with, you know, like loving yourself and knowing that, you know, there's some areas that you need to work on. There's some things that, you know, there's some work that needs to be done. I think people think that a lot of times I hear people say like, oh, you know, well, I don't want to date until I'm healed, or I don't want to do this until I'm healed. And I don't know if we're ever truly like 100%, you know, healed. I think it's just a process that continues, you know, throughout our life. You know, we are healing, like it's continual. But I think that some people kind of do think that they have arrived and they're still not willing to do like more work. Specifically, let's say, you know, when they meet somebody, they're like, okay, well, I love myself and I've done all this work. And if it doesn't work with you, then it means it's you or you're not the right person and stuff like that. So having that awareness of knowing that even though you may have done a lot of work on yourself and you may have grown a lot, there's still always work, you know, that can be done.
So, rewinding the backfeed, let's do introductions of our guests, because we got guests popping in, but we just want to introduce them. Raven, we can start out with you introducing yourself.
Okay, I'm Raven. Ravy, baby, please say the baby. You know, I'm I don't know, like, are we saying who we are? About
whatever you want there.
Oh, okay. I'm just here. I'm a fan, big fan of the Total Woman. I'm related to Sharita pretty much, and so I like her and Fee. I think they, you know, like when, you know, we talk to some of the stuff that I say. I think I'm just here to contribute, you know, and happy to be here.
We love it when you contribute.
Yes. Weldon, tell us a little bit about you and how you know inspired her. Or
my name is Weldon. I have an interesting connection with one of the hosts. We have a history and what most people would call a forever bond. So anything she needs, she knows that I got her. So that's pretty much it.
You've been on the show before, but we ain't gonna go back there.
No, we're not.
I think I was on the show that night too, or I remember.
Yeah.
Raven, I we cool, right?
Yes, all I said was I remember.
All right.
And we got a sophisticated dummy on here. JP, you want to welcome? Thank you. Introduce yourself.
What's going on? This is Pain's Pleasure. Please say the pain.
No.
Ravy, baby. You're not going to talk this whole show. I ain't going to let you do it. You're not going to talk this whole show. But what's going on in the corner over there? Like, what?
Look a little suspect. I wanted to say something, but
Like, who came on the show and they so important, they just going to put their camera like that?
Oh, it looks like Dante.
So let me tell y'all real quick. I'm at work, but I wanted to chime in with y'all, right? Get the show rolling, and then I'm gonna go to the house. And if y'all still got it going on, I'm gonna chime back in with you and tell you why love is failing.
Well, tell us
well,
before you
we want the male's opinion of why love is failing, and we want the women to.
I got a strong opinion.
You can't just stay at work, JP, so you can be throughout the entirety of the show.
Say it one more time, Raby baby.
You can't just stay at work so you can be here throughout the entirety of the show.
Is that did y'all hear what she just said? Did you hear what she just said? After all day at work, she want me to stay at work. Did y'all hear that?
I agree.
I'm gonna let them answer.
Stay at work. That's how.
The answer is no. I'm taking my ass home.
Okay.
Listen. All right. So for those who are just coming online, I was sitting here one day and I'm like listening to all this stuff going on in the world today. All this crazy, crazy stuff going on in the world today with people and their mates and I'm just wondering, look, why are we failing? I mean, and that includes me too, because I'm divorced and everything, so I'm a part of the paint pot too. Why?
Excuse me.
Why am I failing? I don't know.
My first question would be, how well did you know yourself before you got in those relationships? Because a lot of us, I don't think, take the time to really figure out what makes us happy, what really we don't like. I think a lot of us, we end up liking somebody and then you learn yourself while you with that person.
That's
you know,
Yeah.
it's like y'all learning each other together. And then before you know it, you look up, you'd have been with the person 10, 15, 20 years. I talk to couples all the time at work that they've been together 40, 50 some years. And now it ain't working out.
But but they, like I was just telling you,
40, 50 years.
Did they love each other? Like, are you in love with your spouse? And a lot of these men and women saying no, and they've been together for 30 plus years.
Forget the in love. Do you like your spouse?
Right.
That part.
Do you
people fall in and out of love all the time? People fall in and out of love all the time.
There you go.
Let's just say love, because you still,
I don't believe that.
Love. You still need to have that love.
Okay.
All that in and out of love is the reason why you say I do through sickness and health, through rich and poor, through good and bad. So when you got them bad times and the money ain't where it was, guess what? I love you just for how you look. You ain't even got to put no makeup on because I'm with you. I'm committed to you.
Well, we say in love. It's the difference between loving somebody and being in love with somebody.
Right. So, but when you bring up those subjects, you have to encompass what goes along with it. Commitment.
Yes.
Stability, vows. Yes. You can't have one without the other and expect longevity and success, and have an idea of what's success for both people. Being together.
Say it though. Well, then it's a difference between I'm in love with you and love. Like I love my husband or I love my man. That I feel like in love and love is two different things.
They are.
Yeah.
They are. So okay, so my brother mentioned about learning yourself as you get to know someone else. For some people that really have a true sense of self, and I consider myself to be one of those people, I know who I am. I'm very confident in who I am, and I'm comfortable with who I am. And a lot of people, when they meet each other, they put on their best behavior or their best self. I don't do none of that. I am going to be exactly who I am today. I'm going to be that same person 2 years from now, hopefully with gained wisdom. But as far as the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, switching up or becoming somebody else, or you're not the person I thought you were, that's not happening. And the problem is, a lot of times people are not ready for what they deserve or what they've been praying for. That can be scary because, and I can't speak for everybody else or anybody else, but that's what I've been having issues with over the last 10 to 15 years. And that's an issue for the good men that everyone seems to be praying for, that Boaz, that man, that king. Are you ready for that when he shows up? That could be scary for a lot of women, and they put on their track shoes and they run.
Or they find excuses, find reasons to, say, oh, this isn't gonna work. Self-sabotage. They sabotage.
Yeah.
Something, what? I wanna I'm sorry, Sharita. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying a lot of people do sabotage because they don't feel like they deserve it, or they've been so used to being in toxic relationships that when that person comes in, they don't know how to receive it.
Right. It feels very foreign to them because as dysfunctional as dysfunction is, for some people it's very familiar. And there is safety and familiarity, even if it's, chaos. There's like this pocket of safety there because it's like, no, it's not stable. Yes, it's a mess, but like, this is the shit that I know. And
so what does a good man do that's ready for love and ready to give his heart and be that for somebody?
So what I was gonna say was like to kind of, if we could kind of put that question on hold for a minute, because I wanted to like add something to what you were saying. You were talking about how you have like your sense of self, you know who you are, and you are okay with like being who you are and sticking to that. I don't know what your background is or how you got to that, but a lot of people don't have the space to be able to be that. A lot of people were raised like on survival, you'll talk, and I think it's such a tricky thing because you'll have people who, I think if they were taught certain skills or taught things, they would be able to kind of come into their own and know themselves, but they didn't really have that set up for them. But they tried their best in life despite, and now they're like, okay, I want to have a family. I want to be in a relationship. I want love. And then they try it out and then they have difficulties because they just weren't ready. And so I feel like a lot of us aren't really prepared for healthy relationships either.
One thing I wonder is, people that weren't raised and didn't see healthy relationships, didn't learn how to love. How do you, like, if you were raised by a bunch of single women, which I was, my dad was there, but he wasn't with my mom. How do you learn how to love somebody? You just trying things out, really.
Again, it just see me or Raven, but it just goes back to loving yourself. Everything is full circle. It goes back to
you can love yourself and still it's a lot of people out here that and still don't know how to love the next man.
It's going to be some on-the-job training that you have to have. Some things you're not going to learn about loving until you love or you let somebody love you. It's like the same thing, like you get a job. You know how like we go to school, we get a degree, we have an internship, and then we get a job. And we've amassed like 4 years of knowledge and skills. We've had an internship that we've done for like 6 months or so. But there's still things that we're not going to know until we get in that job and on that job and be able to experience. So love within itself is healing. So like sometimes, you can work on yourself and have all the self-love that you want. There's some things you're not going to be able to tackle or to face until you actually get into a relationship and, dealing one-on-one, with someone. And so Weldon was saying like, what do I do with that type of woman? So I wouldn't necessarily say that person is not good enough or not able to love. It's like, are they willing? Because somebody can come and say like, okay, all right, I had a messed up past. Like, I was raised in a single parent home. I never saw, a man and woman being happy. I've always had bad relationships. But is this person willing? Is this person willing to try something different, learn some different things? Are they, willing to walk with you? You can do something with willingness.
I
If
And then
somebody
the thing is,
Is the man willing to work with you? Is he willing to?
well, that's why I said if he is he, because he said, what does he do? And so I'm
and
saying, if
also,
she's willing, are you?
Right.
right. And so you're in
Right.
this place now, but you weren't always at that place. And somebody had to be patient with you while you got to this place. Pain, heartache, going through trials and tribulations got you to the point where you are now. So now you know, like they say, are you willing to teach somebody and help somebody grow with that? And what are the pros and cons? Like, what can they come with? They got to come with something, like they said, a willingness to want to love and to be loved. So
And the
if you
people
got,
who are watching, please add on your comments. We want to hear what everybody's got to say.
and also this, we live in a me world. It's all about me, and we don't want to sacrifice. We don't want to compromise. We want what we want.
Yeah.
I was gonna mention that because giving of yourself and being of service to your mate, that's such a big part of love, being in love. If you can't do that, how are you gonna be vulnerable to somebody? How are you gonna give of yourself to somebody if you're not willing to do that? It doesn't add up if those things are not part of the scenario. They have to be part of the equation.
Fear is another reason. Fear of being hurt, fear of failing again, fear of opening up. Fear is a big thing why we're failing at love.
Yeah, because you're talking about vulnerability. That's a cuss word for a lot of people.
Yeah,
I mean, that is a lot of people don't do vulnerability, and they will shape shift, they will do whatever to not be vulnerable. But like you said, you're not going to be able to access a real deep connected type of love unless you are able to be vulnerable. Like you're not gonna have no true intimacy without it.
And I asked my husband, if you can't be vulnerable with me, who can you be vulnerable with? Valerie said there are
different levels of love. If you truly want to love someone sincerely, first, never change who you are or pretend to be someone you are not just to win this man or woman's love. Love yourself first. If you can't do that, then for now, just walk away until you're ready. So let's just say this. We're trying to figure out why we're failing at love. So the first thing I keep hearing is you got to love yourself first. Second, you got to figure out who you are. Right? You gotta figure out who you are as a person first before you even think about who you giving love to.
Dante, you want to chime in?
Yeah, it looked like he's trying to talk, but then he keeps freezing.
Can we
go ahead? What was that last thing?
I said, did you want to chime in on anything?
Why are we failing at love? Are we talking about in general, or are we talking about the Black community, or
just people in general? Why are we failing? It's so many divorces and so many people that's faking it. So many people that not really in love with each other. They just partnerships. And what happened to love? Like genuine, I love you. Like I want to be with you. Kind of.
Is that even okay? I'm gonna ask a question.
Wait a minute. Dante was.
I'm sorry.
He was trying to.
So I think nowadays, people not really they just settling to be with somebody a lot of times. They're not fully in love with the person. They've been dating for a while, or they tell this person's a good person, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and do this. So that person's a good person, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and just marry this person because I've been through so much of the BS for so long. I found somebody that's a good person but you're not really in love with them. So, and I guess while we failing at love, I'm thinking more of marriage too. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You know, we have to be, um, we gotta be in love, and has to be natural. You know, you can't make yourself fall in love or make yourself love somebody. It shouldn't, it shouldn't be hard to love the person you with.
That's
You know,
key.
even if they get on your nerve, because that's what we're gonna do as men, women, we're gonna get on each other's nerves. But it shouldn't be hard. I love you today, but I don't love you next week because you got on my last nerve type of shit. You know, it got to be natural. I think a lot of times we make this love thing too complicated. It's not as hard as we make it sometimes. And then if it's hard, then I don't think that's the right person for you.
Right.
That's true. That part right there. Love, when you love somebody, it ain't hard. To me, that
Right.
person gotta be this. I mean, I'm gonna show you everything about me.
Mm-hmm.
And you gotta choose whether you want to love me, and if you're gonna love me for everything I am, I'm riding with you, especially if I love you. And it ain't
Right.
infidelity, but some people
Infidelity.
can. If you love each other that much, some people can even work through infidelity.
They
I
can.
do. I believe that. Mhm.
I've
I
seen
think
that,
so too.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, it depends. I've seen it too. So
They
see, what
can't
I always
keep
say,
doing it. They can't keep doing it.
no,
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 like no, it's not like continuing to do so.
Right.
right, right.
Tara Atkins said infidelity, lack of communication, and no commitment. And
That
that's
word.
why I started this, because I keep seeing that. I keep seeing that. People aren't, like, they in relationships with 2 and 3 other people, and the wife know it. And it's not just Hollywood anymore. Your
No.
friends and family environment, people that you in, they buying into this stuff too.
Yeah.
Right. Can a
That's
person
all
cheat and still
settling
be in
though.
love? Yeah. I think
Yeah.
a person can cheat and still be in love with his wife or mate. It sounds crazy, but that man has his own issues, his internal stuff
Right.
that he's on that has nothing to do with the woman.
Or
And
the full relationship.
Exactly.
Right.
If you love
It's
me,
a
how can
personal
you cheat on
issue.
me? Right. If you love me, how can you cheat on me? But that I can still love you and
Yeah,
cheat on you.
men cheat a lot of time for ego.
Yeah.
It's more ego than I'm trying to find love somewhere else or trying to be with this person. You know what I mean? It's more ego or you know trying to get that thing off. A lot of times it ain't really they
Yeah.
trying to looking for somebody or trying to replace the woman. But I feel like if a woman cheat, and I ain't gonna say every time, but 9 times out of 10, it's some feelings involved there.
I would agree with that.
I think it used to be that way more so, but I don't know.
And
That's why I say. That's why
I
I
agree
say.
with
That's
that.
why I
I
say
agree with that
9 times
too.
out of 10. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nowadays they
It, it,
throwing. They
Yeah, I'm
throwing
gonna
it
say
like
7 times out of 10 because I
it's
don't know.
different now. It definitely is different now.
Yeah.
But a lot of people keep bringing up the word commitment, and
Yeah.
it seems like every one of us has used that word or fallen back on commitment and vows. Those things, they are an undercurrent of exactly what we should be looking for, but people are not willing to put in the work to really hold on to those vows.
I agree. A lot of people are so
Sabrina,
emotionally unavailable.
yeah.
You gotta agree with
Sabrina, I
that.
would say, but when do you draw the line when the cheating is right at your back door? Then that shows me a lack of respect.
Yeah.
That's just a lack of
she meant that
respect.
literally. Oh damn.
When cheating is right at your back door, what you mean? Like,
Yeah, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, was it shorty cross the walkway at the apartment complex? What do you mean?
right? Or were
Could
they
be.
having sex on the back porch? What do you mean?
Yes, Sabrina, tell us.
We,
I mean,
we,
if you
look,
don't
we got
mind,
that.
if you don't mind, tell us what you mean.
Right.
Candy said these days people.
Go ahead, Raven.
These days people are infatuated with the BS that society is putting out there. Too many people don't want to be vulnerable anymore. I think those are two things that I agree with. Definitely that infatuation with society. Like I feel like, well, my God, Sabrina.
Hey, Sabrina, honey, we might need to bring you on.
No, wait a minute.
Send her a link.
Your wife. Yeah,
so
that's some Jerry Springer stuff.
Yeah, now that right there, I feel like is like lack of respect, lack of couth, just lack of all. I don't think now that's not somebody I can still be with. And then I'm not fooling with you as a family member either.
Yeah, that's just a lack of respect.
I have a question. What happened to actually liking the person that you're with? If you two have some things in common and you actually enjoy each other, being in love is so fluid. If I write poetry and you love poetry and my poetry is inspired by you, we're giving each other things that we both desire and we both feel are important doing it for each other. And if you have a bunch of different things in common where, we have a back and forth, that's a beautiful relationship. That's intimacy.
That goes back to what Dante said. It's got to be natural. Like you can't play around with it. It's got to be. You gotta like each other. Like when you first start dating, don't you like each other? Or you in it to have.
I think some people. So and that's what I was kind of like saying earlier. Like when you said that person, you asked if that person loved their wife. Or, did they love their wife? And they was like, hell no. And I was like, it's not even just the love. It's like the like part. Do you like this person? Because if you like them, I remember this. When I was in school, we had I forgot what classes it was, but anyway, we were all together on campus, and it was like family therapy or family counseling or something like that. And there were some married people in there talking, and there was this one lady. She was pretty young. She was maybe like 30. And I think she and her husband had been married for a good amount of time, and they had a few kids. And somebody was asking, like, what's the secret to, like, being happy? They were asking, was she still happy, after all this time and all the kids? And she was like, yeah, a lot of things have changed and, this and that. Yeah, we're still happy. And they said, well, what's the secret? And she said, you have to have something in common with each other that even when stuff gets really bad, you can always circle back and come back to that to kind of, center them, whether it's like, your love for, whatever, or there's some type of commonality or some common values that y'all have together that brings you back around, even when, stuff kind of gets hard. I remember writing that down somewhere too. I know I ain't got it no more, but I remember like listening to that and be like, yeah, that sounds right. So I think if you like somebody, stuff, flows organically, at that point.
Chantal said people nowadays married for a partnership, like business-wise, not for love. I was going to say marriage is a partnership, but you're saying like build businesses and stuff and not really in love with that person.
Right.
I can see that.
I mean, or you see people I'll hear people say, oh, I'll give such and such, a chance, whatever, I ain't really feeling them for real, whatever, but he got money. Or the guy was like, yeah, she whatever you say, man, she got a fat ass, whatever. Like, people will stay with people for superficial reasons.
But that stuff goes away.
Yeah.
But they're not thinking long term though.
Well, I guess.
So what's the going sound that all of us say? All of us say, ain't nothing out here. All of us have said that it ain't nothing out here. And that a lot of times keep people in relationships too. And they don't want to move on because they feel like, hey, he or she may not be perfect, but I don't want to start over again. We've been together all this long time. We got this, that, and the other, and I
Yeah.
don't want to start over. So let me just try to figure this thing out, work this thing out.
So Valerie said, why put yourself or someone else through that if you know down the road this is really not what you want? Why ruin both lives? And when did the love die? Though you say you still love this person, that's bull. Oh, it went off. That's bull crap. Just be honest with yourself before you ruin someone else's life down the road. Valerie, a lot of people are afraid to be alone.
That's
Yes.
true.
I'm not.
So you can say so. And it goes back to what you said earlier, Weldon. Well, I want to call you Wendell so bad, Weldon. You said you know yourself and you like yourself and all those things. So you can spend time with yourself. There are some people who cannot be alone, not even just not in a relationship. You have people who can't go to a movie by themselves, who can't travel by themselves, who can't go and eat by themselves because
I do all of that.
they are not comfortable with themselves. They can't just sit down in a room and not have music playing or having to call somebody or have some type of distraction.
That's sad.
It's not. Listen, I literally have just started being able to. I mean, a couple years ago, wanting to go out. It ain't that I couldn't. I didn't want to go out by myself. I like to have conversation with people. Traveling. I got a friend. My cousin traveled to what is it? Start with a B. Bali by herself. I can't do that. Well.
I wouldn't want to
I
go
would
to
like to be with people, but I'm scared I get out there and something happen and I'm by myself.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah, that's not the same though. That's not the same as somebody who they're so upset or they're so they're so uncomfortable with themselves that they or so afraid to be by themselves that they'll stay in a unhealthy relationship or continue to just be with different people because they don't want to be by themselves. That's not the same thing as what you just said, Felicia.
But even with that, this year, or I should say last year, I promised myself I was going to travel this year, whether I was with somebody or not. I didn't want to. I could have picked up a few people just to have a traveling companion. But no, if I'm going to travel, I want to travel with somebody special. I don't want to be just with somebody just so I'm not alone. So I traveled alone. I went to a whole bunch of countries, this year, and I was by myself, and I'm okay with that.
But you did go through some things to get to where you are.
Most definitely.
A few things to be
most definitely
you are right now. That's what we're trying to help you. I mean, you're there now. Tell people what you went through to get to where you are right now, because you ain't just land on Plymouth.
Plymouth Rock landing on me.
Right. So Sharon been married. Sharon, who's my sister-in-law, been married 17 years and just 18, 19, and just renewed their vows. She said, I feel that the key to not failing in love is you are having issues. Keep others out of the situation. Have good communications, because when you bring others in with their opinions, it can make it more tight.
Right.
And Shatara said, I'm comfortable being by myself at home, like just chilling, but I don't think I would want to go out to eat or travel alone.
And that I don't think that means that there's anything wrong with that. That's different from somebody who will just, I mean, you're in a relationship with a man or a woman that doesn't value you, doesn't respect you. You're not happy. You don't even like that person for real, but you don't want to leave them alone because you're afraid, of that in-between period. Or you do the monkey bar where you stay with that person for a while, and then once you meet somebody else that you think can, you can get over them or whatever, then you leave that person alone. Like, going back and like never alone. That's not, the same. And you have people like that. They are so afraid of being alone.
That's true. Or shoot, I don't want nobody that you don't want nobody else to have them. You've been with them so long, and it's like I've molded him. I've gotten him to this situation. I've helped build him and groom him and grow him, and then he want to leave. So you stick around because you don't want anybody else benefiting from the work and
right. Like, I was with him when he couldn't dress, and now he now he got together and he want to be with somebody else. Yeah.
But people do that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I would probably feel the same way too. I'd be like, I'll put you on, sir. But I mean,
it sounds bad.
That's a risk. Yeah.
Man, you can't keep a person that don't want to be kept, man.
I mean, that's true. People do it all the time, though. They dangle.
Right,
women,
they try to, but
women dangle children over men's heads to
they want to be kept.
The person is cheating.
Right.
If they don't want to be kept, then that's when the toxicity gonna start happening, and that's when somebody gonna get hurt. You know what I mean? You gotta, if you want somebody, you know what I'm saying, that blatantly, you feel like don't want you or something like that, that's gonna cause big issues. That's gonna cause, some huge issues. So, you can't just say, be with somebody because it's comfortable, or you done got used to them, or you done put 10 years in, and now all this. I mean, nothing is wrong with saying, okay, I'm bowing out, and then bow out gracefully. Because your dignity is more important than, you know what I'm saying, anything. So it's okay, you know what I mean? Not, to everybody gets so caught up like they fail. Like when me and Sharita split up the first time, when we separated, a part of me felt like I failed, right? Because this was my second marriage, you know what I mean? So sometimes we get caught up in feeling like you failed, but then you got to ask yourself, did I do everything possible to make this thing work? Or did I put everything in to make it work, And if you feel like you did, then okay, you don't have to be worried about what other people say, what other people think, and all that type of stuff. You know what I mean? If it's not working, or the person don't want to be with you, then that's just what it is, and you got to accept that part of it. Definitely.
That's true. And hopefully people are honest enough with you, and and let you know. I mean, sometimes they can be honest and with you and tell you the truth, and it's still, I can tell you nicely, or I can tell you be mean to you. The message is the same, but we still not getting it. So can you have love without trust?
I don't think so.
I think you can. It ain't gonna work. You're not gonna have a good relationship, though.
Yeah, I love him, but I don't trust him. I love him, but I don't trust him. That
relationship will be.
But we say that, but that's not, to me, that's not really, you're not really able to love that person if you can't trust them. We say a lot of things to hear ourselves speak, because I don't think you're going to be able to truly love that person if you don't trust that person. I mean, really and truly love that person. Really and truly love that person.
I love somebody that I didn't trust, and the situation was trash. The love was there, but the trust wasn't, and it was trash.
Right. It can happen. It just won't be a good situation.
Yeah. It just didn't work.
I don't know.
Because if you love somebody, and you in love with somebody, and you guys are in this relationship, and he does something to break your trust, the love is not going to automatically go away. So you still love him, but you just don't trust him.
Yeah, it's just that trust factor is gone, and then it's like you're not gonna be able to move forward in the relationship and it be healthy, without the trust piece.
Right.
So y'all gonna end up, you end up breaking up.
A lot of people do that, and it's people that are still together. It's people that have, and I know a particular couple that some of my friends know as well, that have been together for a long time, but they ain't together. They've been together. When you see them, they together. When you you when your credit is fake. And they, I talk like the guy, for instance. I've been you can tell because then you see them with other people.
Mm.
And it's like, really? Oh, that's
So what?
everybody is your friend.
Right. So what I've gathered, some of the things that we've heard of why we fell in love is lack of communication, lack of self-love, lack of honesty, trust, lack of respect, selfishness, not willing to compromise.
All of that.
How long do you think a couple should be together before you tell them everything about you? Never. Nobody will ever know about you because you're ever evolving. You're not gonna know every single thing about me, but you're gonna know the core of me. And I don't want to tell you everything that happened in my childhood because that,
Right.
how is that benefiting us right now? That may be something that I worked through. So I don't think nobody will ever know everything about you.
Yeah, I mean stuff that's gonna affect them, or that you need to know to be in a relationship for somebody to, like you said, to be vulnerable and to trust. But I'm not telling nobody everything.
No, you don't need to know how many partners I've had. You don't need to know how many times I've lived. So
Yeah,
think about telling people stuff like that.
that's a turn off when somebody asks that anyway. It's like, why? I definitely don't want to know. A guy,
how many partners you done had?
a man told me a long time ago. He said, "You never want to know what a man does when he's single."
No, I don't want to know.
And I don't want to know, sir. I just need to know. Do you have any remnants of it? Is anything still there?
Anything you can't get rid of.
Right.
Because it's gonna be in that little pocket of your mind that you
right.
Like Candy said, you need to tell them the things that will affect them.
Right. My credit score when we can't buy this house or get this new car you want.
I know that's right.
Some people don't even know that.
You get
absolutely
you get the papers pulling your credit. You ain't tampering. You filed bankruptcy. You had a 400 credit score. When we talk about
what they say, you ain't ass.
Yeah, like you ain't got no business dating if you got a 400 credit score.
Why I can't date if I got a 400 credit score?
That just means you got about a house.
Well, I mean dating seriously. I wouldn't take nobody serious with that type of credit score.
So wait a minute. All right. So if you meet somebody with a 500 credit score, which I have done, you can help that person. That 500 credit score gotta be that way.
You make your own standards, but
that comes with stages of life.
500 credit score, and it is now higher than mine.
But here's the thing: that at this stage of life, though, I am not 25. I'm not 25.
At this stage of life, I did
it, and good for you. That is something that I do. It would have to be dire circumstance. There would have to be a very compelling story behind it.
It all depends on where you're looking, what you're looking for. As a man, if men could be looking for something completely different than women. Men are not looking for security in a woman. He's looking for companionship, for her to be nurturing, for the things that he's looking for a woman. He shouldn't be looking for her for financial stability. I don't think he should. So it depends. The situation is different. You need to know what you're looking for and what you're gonna be able to work with.
That's suppose I'm trying to give a good example because I know Raven gonna say, well, you shouldn't be dating. Suppose me and my husband separate and we had to do all this stuff. We divorced and we had to file bankruptcy that affected our credit. when you meet me a year later, my credit, I might be still working on my credit, trying to get it up to that point. So sometimes circumstances affect your credit score. It's not that you're always irresponsible.
Well, that's why I said it has to be a compelling story behind it. But like, who was that? Was it Ernest?
Ernest said irresponsible. Everybody's not irresponsible.
Ernest, that's what I would be afraid of, though. I would be like, well, why do you have a 500 credit score? Is it because you just got out of that divorce, or y'all filed bankruptcy, or is it because you don't make good decisions with money, or you don't know how to manage money? That's what I would.
Yeah, maybe I went through a health crisis and I got these hospital bills that I'm paying on and they don't affect my credit.
Right. And that's why I said there has to be a compelling story behind it.
Okay, I got that.
Yes. His credit score shouldn't matter, because what if yours wants what it is? Do you think you don't deserve a chance because of that? Right. So yeah, just because I got a credit score, low credit score, you deserve a chance.
So I'll respond to that, Sabrina.
Yeah.
I feel like if I had a 400, or 500 credit score, I don't know if I would like be really focused on getting married at that point, but that's just me.
So when do we compromise standards to find
what
love?
You said?
When do we compromise our standards, or do we not? In order to find love?
We're giving a lot of feedback. Hold on. Can y'all mute yourself when she answers this question? Because I can't hear sometimes. All right, go ahead.
So I was asking, in order to find love, do we compromise our standards? Weldon, are you willing to compromise your standards to prevent yourself from failing at love? Or
yes,
you gonna wait? Okay. How would you compromise?
How would I compromise them? There's pros and cons. I would literally, if the pros outweigh the cons, you're gonna have to reevaluate what's most important to you. Holding firm to this arbitrary, deal breaker situations, or see the value in that person and see if you could build something with that person. You have to be realistic with, with what who somebody actually is and what they're going to add to your life. So I can't give a answer on what I would and what I wouldn't, because that can be different between, compared to, that could be different with who I'm dealing with. It depends on who I'm dealing with and who they are. That change from person to person. So I can't answer that question definitively.
So how important is looks and money to us when we're trying to find love? How important is physical?
Let me kind of say something right quick. I think one of y'all, you said, would you compromise your standards, you say, to find love?
Right. Like when you are looking for love, this person may not make the money that you have, or they may not have the typical finances, or they may not look a certain kind of way. Would you be like, oh, I like this person? They may not aesthetically look the way I would like for my man to look, or they may not have the money, or even as superficial as they may not drive what I may be looking for.
So you settling then?
Compromising is not selling. You think do y'all
say something?
That's a difference. There's a difference.
Real quick. One thing, and I talked to Sharita about this, and she'll know what I'm talking about. A lot of times when we pick a person with our eyes, and we pick this person that this character about this person, they got to be tall, they got to look like this, they got to look like that. Sometimes you're missing out on people that are genuinely good people that you might actually fall in love with. Like, have you ever seen the show? What is it? It's a blind date type of thing, and the person falls in love with the person. They talking to them behind
Love is blind.
Yeah. And then if you fell in love with this person you haven't even seen, you fell in love with everything you want. Everything you want. And when you see the person, you like, I feel I've matured so much now that it's like I want to fall in love. I need that person. I need my person. I need my
No, attraction
Right.
matters. I don't care. I
attraction.
don't care. That person can have all that, but if you ain't attracted to that person,
That's
uh,
true.
physically, sexually, then none of that other stuff is gonna matter. At the end of
I'm
the day,
not saying
trust me.
you're not gonna be attracted to the person physically or if you're not attracted to the person when you see them at all, it ain't gonna work. But I'm talking about getting to know the person themselves before you fall in love with who. Because how many men have fell in love with the chick with the big butt, beautiful skin, beautiful hair, beautiful everything, and realize that inside, deep down inside,
That was infatuation. That was infatuation. That wasn't love. You was infatuated with
no,
that. You was
no,
infatuated.
there's out here that will fool you, and you ain't gonna get to know them until you done fell in love.
Well, I mean, can you at least say, can we at least agree that there's got to be some type of initial attraction? Because you don't know anything about anybody when you first meet them except for how they look. So there's got to be something there initially, physically, that
Well,
attracts you to the
It
person.
could be their
going
personality.
to fall
Could
in
be
love
that's what's
with somebody
attractive
you're
to
not
you.
attracted to. I'm
I
talking
ain't
about
hear,
a
I ain't
person.
hear neither one of y'all.
You're not gonna fall in love with somebody that you're not attracted to. I'm talking about I had a type, right? And if you weren't that type, I wasn't even thinking about you. I wouldn't know. No.
So type and attraction, that's not the same thing though.
Exactly.
Because
Because your
a
type
type,
changes.
right,
Especially as we
a
get older,
type,
your type gonna change.
you're talking about a type, meaning saying like, okay, well, let's say that like my type is I only date somebody that's tall and dark skinned. That's a type. But if I see somebody, and they're not tall and dark skinned, but I'm still attracted to them, that's not the same, the same thing.
It was for me.
Okay, I got you.
If you want taller than me, no. Rita and them know if you weren't taller than me, you weren't dark skinned, it was a no.
Okay, so can we go back to something? I'm sorry, there was two comments that Sabrina made, and she's talking to me, so I want to be able to respond to her. So this is when we were talking about the credit score part. So the first comment she said, I'm not saying getting married, I'm just saying in general. So she's asking, am I not worth your time because my credit score? That's crazy. Then she said, because if you're worried about my credit score off the rip, then you never wanted to get to know me as a person. First off, it's a little shallow to me because I'm sure you haven't always been up. You could really be missing your soulmate. Well, Sabrina, we don't know if I'm up now, for real, but no, but in all seriousness, I'm not talking about what you should do. I'm talking about me personally. So that's why I said, when you said the part about, you're not saying married, you're saying in general. I'm not thinking about in general. I am thinking about, at some point getting married, buying a home and doing those things. And you need good credit for that. And that's just I'm not ashamed I'm not ashamed that I am thinking that way because I feel like I should be thinking that way at the age that I am. I'm not, very young. I'm not 25. I'm not
Facts.
even, I ain't even, watch your mouth, Dante. But I'm not even 30 years old. So that's where I am in my life and what I'm thinking about. And so at a certain, I have certain values that are mine and that are my own. And so that's what I use those values to steer me to who I might, want to be involved with. And so, like I said, 500 credit score. I mean, it's got to be like I got to know why you have a 500 credit score. I'm not just going to be like, oh, okay, that's okay. We can build from that. I don't know that because I'm not paying nobody's bills. That's not something that I'm willing to do. And I'm not really willing to teach a man of a certain age necessarily like how to get out of debt or, you know, things like that. That's not just something that I want to do. So, you know, I am never saying, I'm never telling nobody else what, you know, they should do. You know, I'm talking about me personally. And you are, if you're asking, like, I think everybody is worthy of love. I don't care what your credit score is, what you look like. It's not that. But I am looking, you know, what I'm looking for at this stage of my life. There's just certain criteria that, you know, I know that person has to have. And, you know, and I'm okay with that.
And seriously, Felicia Fee is a financial coach. So she definitely, whoever is struggling with their credit, because we've all been there, I've been there. She can help you get your credit. So if that's an issue for you guys.
Yeah, but Fee ain't dating no man at 45, 50 years old with a 500 credit score.
No,
she got to try to coach him on his credit and all that.
That's not true. That's not true. So I'm gonna tell you something, and he might hate me for it, but no, he's better. When I met my ex-husband, he had a 500 and something credit score.
I'm talking about at this point of your life.
How old were y'all? How old were you? How old were you, Felicia?
Right.
How old were y'all?
I was 42 when I married him.
So at this point of your life, Fee, you willing to do that all over again?
We need your soundboard, Dante. We need a soundboard.
Womp, 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 womp.
Exactly. And that's all I'm saying, Fee. You know, at some point in life, you're not willing to do that all over again.
Sabrina might be in her early 20s. Sabrina might be
Sabrina might be young.
Well, look, if there's anybody out there that needs help, next year I'm gonna be coming. Coach Fee is coming back. I'm gonna be helping people because people need help, and it's a lot of people out here that don't, you know, like Jamon said. Just because I give people the tricks to get things done, right? So paying your minimum payment every month will get you a great score, but you ain't financially sound.
That's
true. Still in debt. You're just holding space. You just holding space, right. and you ain't getting rid of nothing because that minimum that you paying, the interest next month going
right. Your utilization is high. Like, yeah, I know about all that. Okay, Sabrina, so you'll be 36. Okay, so you're still pretty young.
Birthday. She is pretty young, and she could
have some Sagittarius season. Happy early birthday.
Yeah, but you
look,
could be a
Sabrina, you're a Sagittarius girl. I can help you. I'll help you. I help all.
Inbox us, Sabrina. She gonna help you. She gonna send you.
Girl, I got a book about it.
I'm gonna pay Fee to send you a book, Sabrina. Inbox her with your address. I'm gonna pay Fee to get a
ain't have no Sagittarius out there with low credit scores. We're gonna help you out.
Right.
And look, just because you admit it, you know, that's
You're
the first
welcome.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to say you got a low credit score because guess what? Things can happen. Things can happen. How you think I learned all my tricks to the trade and learned everything? I'm an accountant, right? I chose to go and study to be a financial coach, but I learned from making the mistakes. That's how I learned. Right?
Shoot, our parents ain't know nothing about no money management and budgeting and all that kind of stuff. They didn't teach us that.
They don't. And our parents.
And contrary,
literacy is lacking in the Black community. You know, like we don't learn a lot of that stuff. You know, when we're young. Like I had to learn stuff. You know, when I got older, I got credit cards when I was in college and maxed them joints out. It was a mess.
Well, it should be against the law to give a $500 credit card and you don't have no money. You basing it on my financial aid.
Right.
That's
I mean,
500 credit card. Come on.
We was putting the hood on when we got credit cards and in college. We was paying for our friends to go out and it was a bit much.
Yeah, why is my mic getting muted?
Because your speaker is giving a lot of feedback.
Oh, I'm sorry. What I was going to say is there's a lot of people walking around here making $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 with 500 credit scores.
Well, there's some people that pay cash for a lot.
And they don't care too much about no credit or whatever.
So
Hey, let me tell you something. I have very good credit, but I will Afterpay or Klarna something in a minute. I do
don't
not
want to pay
care.
all of it now.
I try to use Afterpay or Klarna first before I put some on my credit card because
Come on back in here.
I use a lot of myself and say, oh, I'm gonna put this on a card and pay it back at the end of the month, and then I would forget, and then that starts to pile up. So look, ain't no shame in my game. I'll split it into 4 in a minute.
Me
Yeah,
too. How we go from love to finding family love to credit?
I don't know. I think
Finances,
I am.
money isn't that the number one reason people divorce because of money? Is that still the case?
It's the case in America.
Okay, in
Yeah.
America.
In America, because I wanted to touch on something, but I know it's a touchy issue because there's a lot of people that are, the world is an open forum now. People go to other countries to find love and find a wife or a husband. And
Passport brothers. You a passport brother, Weldon?
I'm not a passport brother, but I get attention, and I'm not starving for attention. Let's just say that.
Okay.
So
It's like, all right, puppy. Weldon, me amor.
But there are ladies who go to other countries to find husbands.
Oh, they love us in other. I went to the Bahamas in September. The men was all over me.
There you go.
I love Ashley Abroad and 9 Day Fiance Abroad. I be watching that stuff.
They go especially to the Dominican, not the Dominican, to the Dubai and Africa, and
they just want to come to America. Most of them just want to get married because they can come to America.
No, ma'am.
You get a little green card, baby. If you treat me right.
Ma'am.
Give my daddy a little dowry or something.
With them.
Yes, they want you to move. Yes, they are not trying to come over here. Most of the time, that is a misconception. Please believe.
Okay, well, would you move abroad, Weldon?
Weldon, would you move out of the country? Would you move out of the country for love?
For love abroad.
Pretty much the only reason I'm in America is because of my family. If I didn't have a grandson that I spend so much time with, I'd be out of here.
I have heard that they treat us better. I mean, think about it. It's a show on now talking about Black people in Dubai. It is a lot of us over there with business.
I don't know if I want to be that far from the States, though.
No,
God, that's far.
That's a long flight.
Yeah, I could do maybe like a little 3-4 hour flight away from the States, but I ain't gonna be able to live with so far. I need to see my mama.
You don't even have to go that. 3 or 4 hours is more than enough. There's about 1,000 little islands that you can, if you work remotely, you can make a good living and still enjoy peace of mind.
The Bahamas is a 25-minute flight from Florida.
Yeah, and it's a 45-minute boat ride from Miami.
I love the Bahamas. I do.
Yeah, I was like, I said I will definitely be coming back. It's just nice. Like they live like really simple over there,
and they're nice.
They were so nice.
They treat you like, say, you go to Jamaica, they be trying to rob you, and I'm scared.
Yeah, they were so kind. That was some of the best because I've been to Mexico, I've been to DR, I've been to Europe. I've never had that much hospitality. The hospitality of what I had in the Bahamas. The men and the women, they were very nice.
The guy that we went there, and I went there for a conference. I've been to Bahamas so many times, but we went for a conference, and the guy came and got us, and they didn't call it an Uber over there, but a taxi cab or whatever, and he was giving us a tour around the island. And this guy, we were like, "Where's the fun?" He was like, "Oh, his family was having a big cookout. His family is well known on the island." He took us to his family cookout. We had the best time ever.
Yeah.
And we stay in touch. I mean, I would go to the Bahamas by myself. Definitely.
I think after a while I could too, because I went with my cousin. Like it was like last minute, And she had met a lot of people over there. And so when we got there, she called the people that she knew. There were people meeting us at the resort where we were. They took us out to go and get food. They took us out into, like with their people. People cooked for us. I was getting over like a cold or something when I got there. A lady brought me some Cersei tea. She made me some leaf they got over there. It was disgusting, but it cleared me right on up. Very, very hospitable.
Right. Well, listen, guys, it's over an hour now, and I think we got our answer to the question: why are we failing at love? One, we don't know. A lot of times we don't know what we want. Two, we're not good at communicating. We don't, and some of us, we don't love ourselves, right? I think we need to spend a little bit more time with ourselves, understanding what we want, making sure that we love ourselves first. And listen, don't overlook people like I did. Don't be a me and overlook people that you could truly find love with. And I'm not saying if it's somebody that you truly are not attracted to, but I was attracted to some people that were short, but because they were short, I didn't, I had them get short. Now I don't. But you got to learn that. You have to learn that. And try to understand what some people are going through. Like maybe that person got a low credit score. Maybe you can help them. Maybe maybe you're like Raven, who doesn't want to do that at this age. And I totally understand that. Totally understand that. But we got to do better. We got to do better. And that's what this podcast is about, inspiring women, and we try to inspire men as well, because we got messages saying that we have. But we have this series, and this series, we've already put out the post. It's a 3-episode series. So the first one is why are we failing at love? Why are we failing at love? And the second one is going to be next Tuesday, and that is entitled, I'm sorry guys, I just had it up because I was getting ready to talk to you about it, but we're going to have a guest next Tuesday. Her name is Renee Miller, and she has a love camp. People are doing all sorts of stuff to keep love around. She has a love camp, and they actually had it here in Savannah. Sad I missed it, but they had it here in Savannah, and singles came. And it's actually a camp, a little conference, and they're, learning how to get back to love. Well, our whole series is called Understanding the Mystery of Love, because to me, it's truly a mystery. Next week, we'll be talking about what type of love do you desire? And we'll be with Ms. Renee Miller. And our last episode on the 12th will be with a guy named Omar. And we're going to be talking to him about dating with a destination. He wrote a book about dating with a destination. He's going to show us how to date. You don't know people don't know how to date, right? You do know that, right? This is Red and I's gift to you for Christmas. We show people how to love again.
Hey, JP, thank you for coming back in.
Yeah. Them streets is mean out there. So did y'all figure out why everybody fell in that love? Did y'all get it together?
We
figured it out. We found out it's the woman's fault, bro. Just kidding.
Oh no! Yeah, it's the women's fault. And Wendell said you gotta go.
Oh, wait a minute.
Weldon said you gotta get a passport and leave the country and leave your family and go marry somebody in another country.
We're gonna sign out on that one, y'all. Wendell said we gotta go to another country. JP. I don't know what JP said.
No, look, When y'all first asked the question, before I left to come home, I started to say, y'all the problem. That's what I started to say. But I said, nah, I ain't gonna do that.
Women, yeah, we the problem, but they can't leave us the hell alone, though.
That's the truth.
That part.
That is the truth.
We're gonna end on that part. Just a whole nother hour.
Y'all have a good night.
Good night.
Dr. Phil Rell.
We are here to inspire her, the total woman. Yes. We are here to.
Y'all are hot, man.